Okay, guys, hello and welcome to week 3 of the Tuesday Lunch and Learn Lives. We're covering John Maxwell's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, and we are in chapter 3, which is a look in the mirror. First, I would like to apologize and say, I know my hair is a hot mess, and I have been a little sick, and so I got a little stuff going on in my chest, so sorry if I don't sound that great, but I'm gonna try. Also, always good to see you too. I have the little water fountain in the pool going, so if that's too loud, y'all need to let me know. There's a helicopter. Things may not be setting us up for success right now, but it's fine. Thank you. I just got this shirt at the Faith Over Fear Business Summit that we just went to. It was so good, which I would love to talk about that. There's so much that I could talk about that, but we're going to stay on agenda today. I thought about just doing a debrief of the personal growth and stuff that could come from the conference that I was just at, but we will save that for another day. Maybe next week we'll diverge off topic. But so we're starting with the law of the mirror. So it's taking a look at ourselves, and it starts off with saying you must see value in yourself to add value to yourself. It says personal development is the belief that you are worth effort, time, and energy needed to develop yourself. And so a lot of people don't see themselves or have the self-esteem to think that they are worth putting time into themselves, and you most definitely are. You are an investment. You are valuable. You are a value, and you can grow in that. And so we're gonna take a look at that. They don't see the possibilities that God put inside of them. They don't take the chance to cultivate the seeds that God planted to learn and grow, meaning your squashed potential. Squashed. I also have a cough drop in my mouth, so if I have trouble speaking, it's because it's probably trying to run away from me. So sorry. So we're gonna take a look in the mirror. You get a chance to be anybody that you want, and then Maxwell tells a story of a lady that he met that really came from nothing and had a really negative start to life, and at one point in her life she just had enough of it, and so it kind of talks through her journey of growing. So there's a few quotes from her in here. And so it says, I realized I didn't have to be smart because she decided to get her GHD and go to college. She didn't realize she had to be smart. She just had to be determined, motivated, and focused. This came with a high price tag for her. It says came for a high price tag with me. I had to exchange my thinking. I had to think like I was a smart person. When you put in the effort to become a better you learn to love yourself in a new way. I'm also trying not to lose my... I made all these notes on the plane yesterday. You turn into the person you want to be, the person you were created to be. Because we were all created to be our best selves. We were meant to do big things and go far places and set audacious goals and run them down. We weren't made to be little. So now he talks about the power of positive self-esteem. Recognize your values. You begin to add value to yourself, and then you see value in yourself. And so it doesn't matter which one comes first, but one feeds the other. So you can add value to yourself before you see value in yourself, or you can see the value and then add more value. It's just important that it's the cycle that's going on. Self-esteem is the single most significant key to a person's behavior. Zig Ziglar says it's impossible to consistently behave in a manner inconsistent with how we see ourselves. We do very few things in a positive way if we feel negative about ourselves. So we always need to be seeing ourselves in a positive light, which we can train our brains to do. A psych expert, Nathaniel Brandon, said no factor is more important in people's psychological development and motivation than the value judgment they make about themselves. So it's not even what other people are doing. Now, the way we see ourselves is usually determined by the way other people saw us and things that we went through really by the age of 5 or 7, but more on that later. But it's how we see ourselves that motivates us, not other people. Okay, low Self-esteem puts a ceiling on your potential. It's called the law of the lid. He talks about it in one of his other books. If your desire is a 10, but your self-esteem is a 5, you'll never perform at a level 10. You will only be able to perform at a level 5. So you have to up your self-esteem to a 10 to perform at a level 10. So if you see yourself at a 10, or if you see yourself at a 5, you can only behave at a level 5. And that's not what I'm about. People are never able to outperform their self-image. The value we place on ourselves is usually the values others have placed on us. And I said that earlier. It's usually done at an early age that sets us into our ways and locks our brains down to think that we're never going to be good enough or we can change the world. So I was extremely blessed to have a mom that fully believed that I can do anything that I put my mind to. And like she like pounded that into me when I was younger. I actually wrote a paper about it. I can't remember what it was in sociology, and there was a term. It's supposed to be a point of delusion that we can actually not do anything that we set our minds to. And it has a name for it because it's supposed to be a point of delusion. And I actually wrote like a thesis paper on that was a lie, and you can outwork your situation without being given crazy things. So, but your mind has to be there and your mindset has to be there, but then you can do it. I got an A on that paper, by the way. It was fun. All right, steps to build your self-image. If you put small value on yourself, rest assured the world will not raise the price. So we got to put a high price tag on ourselves because we're worth a lot. 1, guard your self-talk. There's always a running conversation in your head. By the time we are 17 years old, roughly, by the time we're 17 years old, we've been told 150,000 times the word no. And the word yes only 5,000 times. That's a big difference. So there's already like a running narrative in our mind of negativity and the word no. So life is hard enough. Talk kindly to yourself. And like this affects everybody. I'm not speaking at you. I am learning with you. So I completely understand what it's like to always think like I can't do this. Like I get in trouble all the time, y'all. I can't talk. I know I try not to like sell or preach or anything on here, but ID Life and the team that I'm with now, I have never been challenged to think higher of myself. Ever. I have been told, because I always say I'm a terrible businesswoman, like I'm not trained to be a businesswoman. I'm a fantastic coach and trainer and like a person of positivity. I am learning to be a fantastic business person, and I am very early in that learning area. But they fuss at me all the time for saying I'm a bad business person or I'm not a business person, because I am both. I am a good business person, or I'm going to speak it into existence and I'm going to do the work. Thanks. And so like that's probably the running conversation of negativity that I fight with the most, is that I'm not a business person, but I am. I literally own a business. And I used to always say I was not a runner. It actually took me, so my best friend's a runner. Like he's a stupid good runner and I am not. And so it used to take me, the first time I actually said I was a runner was the first time I ran 9 miles nonstop. Now that's a little bit of a ridiculous mark to have to hit before I would even consider myself to be a runner. But apparently when I did that, I was like, you know what? I think I am a runner now. But beside the point. So keep your conversations about yourself and to yourself positive. You're freaking awesome. So we got to speak like the little engine that could. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. And then I also wrote Dory on here. In the book, they talk a little bit about the little engine that could. I am a swimmer. And when I do really hard things, I think about Dory. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Oh, 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 oh. And so that's what I do in life too. So the little engine that could. Just keep going. Just keep going. I think I can. I think I can. So when you do good, See it for what it is, and don't belittle your efforts. So if you do something good and make good progress in something, don't be like, well, it's about time. Or like, I did the laundry. It's been sitting right there for 3 weeks, so, it's not like I'm a good person or anything. It's not an accomplishment. I just, did what it is. But, no, you did something good. If you build something good, like, pat yourself on the back. Great job. You go for that first workout, it might be your first in 12 years. That's freaking amazing. Don't belittle yourself. Congratulate yourself. It's good things. All right. 2, into building self-image. Stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of all joy. Either you feel small or you can become proud. Either way, it's not good. Your only mission is to be better than yourself yesterday. So leave other people out of it. Because they are on their own trail doing their own walk. It doesn't involve you. And you don't involve them. So, stay in your lane. Alright? Sorry, I'm crunching my cough drop now. 3, move beyond your limiting beliefs. When man has put a limit on what he will do, he has put a limit on what he can do. And one of the quotes that I really like is, whether you think you can or you can't, you're probably right. And so just by thinking that you can't do something, you just already said you're not going to be able to do it. And so I like to leave some maybes, because I do have some maybes in my life, and I talk about them all the time. So I'm like a triathlete and stuff, and like, there's a good chance I'll never get to do a full. Why? Because I have some medical problems that are linked to my sweat. And when I sweat out a lot of electrolytes, I faint. That's not very conducive for the hobby I have chosen. I'm not saying I can't do it, but we're gonna find out. So there's room for some maybes, but don't ever say you can't do nothing. We're gonna try it. Okay, I lost where I am. Okay, there are 4 steps to transform limiting beliefs to empowering beliefs. 1 is identify the limiting belief that you want to change. I can't run. 2, determine how the belief limits you. I don't run. If you don't think you can, then you're not going to. All right? Decide how you want to act or feel. Be how you want to be, act, or feel. I would like to be a runner. Create a turnaround statement that affirms or gives you permission to be, act, or feel this way. All I have to do is put one foot in front of the other and never give up. And then you just continue to use that mantra and that thing in all the different areas where you believe. So you identify, determine, decide, and create. And move forward. My girl's ringing her bell to come out. Okay, 4. Step 4 on how to do it. Add value to others. It's hard to feel bad about yourself when you're doing something good for somebody else. So, pour into other people. Add value to them, and it, in return, just adds value into your own heart and soul. So, 5. Do the right thing, even when it's hard. Every time you do something that builds your character, you become stronger as a person. So, continue to build into the character that you want to be. And I think it's always important to know and understand the characters that you want to be so that you can build into that, because all of your actions should either align with who you want to be. All of your actions will take you down a road or down a path. It's either going to align with the person that you want to be, or it won't, thus helping you make decisions. Okay, 6. Practice the small disciplines daily in a specific area in your life. So remember, there's mental, spiritual, physical, career, and relational. So, in your areas of life, have small disciplines. Like, I want to read my Bible every day. I want to pray every day. I want to work out every day, at least a little bit. And just pick the disciplines that you want to commit to do to get to where you want to go, or who you want to be, rather. Okay? 7, celebrate the small victories. Take the win. If nothing is ever good enough, you can lose heart. Celebrating encourages you. It helps you to inspire you to keep going. I'm a big person about celebrating. It's fun. I don't care if it's after a race or after a run or a workout and I'm dancing by myself. I'm still gonna celebrate. We did, especially if it's a hard one, if I did really well, or if I just didn't want to do it and I did it anyways. These are all things to celebrate as victories. And then, like, if you have big accomplishments, you should celebrate them. Y'all, my nose piercing? That's when I won World Wakeboarding. It's my trophy. I got an actual trophy, but I like this one better. It goes with me everywhere. I did it the day after. Love it. So always find a way to celebrate and have people around you that will celebrate with you. Embrace a positive, this is 8. Embrace a positive vision for your life based on what you value. So it's pretty simple. Just positive. Keep it positive. Positive vision for your life based on what you value. You get to create it. All right? And then practice a one-word strategy. It should be like attention and intentioned focus. So you want to hone it in. So one-word strategy. It's who am I? So come up with one word of who you are. A word that best describes you. Should be a positive word. And lean into that and go into that. Like, what do you want to be known for? What are you known for? You can actually text your friends. It's something that I have done a few times. I like to text them and ask them, like, what are the 5 words you think of when you think of me? And you know what? If you don't like them, which sometimes you may get stuff back that you don't like, you have the power to change it. You just have to change it. All right? But awareness is everything, so I'm always a fan of that. All right? And 10, take responsibility for your life. We tend to get in life what we're willing to tolerate. If we allow others to disrespect us, we will be disrespected. If we allow other people to push us around, we'll be pushed around. For me, when I was growing up, I was very particular about language. I still am. There are some words you are not allowed to call me. And I'm pretty like loose on a lot of things, but some things I'm not. And it's just one of the things that I've always been in. So that's the conclusion of the chapter, but we're going to go through the applying the laws real quick. I got into a real cool conversation with my neighbor on the plane yesterday, so I didn't get to write these in my notes. So let me see. Amazing info. Glad you like it. Okay, so applying the law of the mirror in your life. 1, make a list of all your best personal qualities. Okay? So this is just going to be something we can dwell on. Because remember, we want to think of all the things that we're good at and that we're amazing at. Because this is the part where we're building our self-esteem. We have to value ourselves more and more. And it's just so much fun. I highly recommend it. I feel like I did a lot of this in the last year or two. And it's just been so much fun. I feel like I'm a completely different new person. Using the list as a springboard, decide on the one word that best describes you. Make this word your North Star and begin adding value to yourself. All right, 2. Few things impact a person's self-esteem more than the way we talk to ourselves on a day-to-day basis. So remember, keep your words nice and kind. They recommend using a journal or notes on your phone and writing down some of the narrative. Like when you say something negative about yourself, write it down. And when you say something like positive about yourself, write it down. And like try and keep track of what you're doing and how you're doing in that practice, because we want to lean towards doing it really well, which means we have to know where we are to know where we're going in it, right? So 3, if you want to feel valuable, add value to others. So pour into other people. Again, this is just practical of the things we just spoke about. If you aren't doing so already, find a way to serve and add value to other others on a weekly basis. It's a good rule of thumb to give 1/10 of your time serving others and adding values to others. So, for example, if you work a 40-hour work week, do 4 hours of service for somebody else in some way or manner. And so that is the end of this. I will add, because y'all know I love exercise in the gym for way more than what it is, but I feel like when you put time in the gym, it's one of the ways I have been able to add value to myself, and one of the reasons why I love it is because it's not just for like getting fit and looking good, and like you feel good when you do hard things. You feel good, and the gym is hard, it's discipline, but it helps add value to yourself because you become a different person when you're in there, when you're put in. Like, I feel like anybody that's in the gym can tell you that, like, it's supposed to be good for stress relief and like all this other stuff, but it's so good for your self-image. And like, even if your image does not change, you feel different, and you begin to change, which makes people see you differently, even though, this same as in the gym or not in the gym. Like, the way people see us often has very little to do with our appearance. I think somebody said like only 20% of all conversation is verbal. I think it's the same way as like presenting yourself or like impressions on people. Like, very little of it is what we think it would be, and most of it is like how we carry ourselves and how we love ourselves and how we treat others, and like the presence we have in a room. Not like I got my hair did and I look nice and I'm smiling, but like I'm real and I love you, and that's what we want. And so like I love myself. So I think what the verse I shared today is like I love because God first loved me, and so I feel like that's the presence we want to give off, and like that's the vibe like I want to do. And so I think I'm rambling now because I ran out of notes, and so it caused me to ramble. I'm trying to think if I had any parting words. If y'all ever have any questions, hit me up. I would love to answer them and talk about this stuff all day. If you need trouble coming up with positive words about you, because sometimes we be like that. If you have trouble coming up with positive words about you, hit me up. I'll help you come up with positive words. I'll shoot you a list from what I see. So, love you guys. Hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you back next Tuesday at Lunch and Learn Live.